Hey, how are you? I hope you are well, literally full of either faith or fear, and I hope that you choose faith today. I want to say that yesterday, I went to court yesterday with my friend Phil, and Phil needs to remain nameless, in fact, because it is not about the person. It is instead about what he, she, and we are doing together. And that's when then we fall. Because we haven't been doing it together, in fact, at all. Wow. Let us remove the crumbs and become the ones that are willing to actually journal what it means to be alive. And to realize that evil is simply when we stop living. Evil, live, frontwards, backwards, God, dog. What happens when we try to put God with a capital G into a box? We turn God into a dog. We turn ourselves into something that must bite because we feel threatened. We must protect what was in order to have that be the truth that others subscribe to. Well, it is time for us to actually write a new story, and we can choose whether to write in blue, which is the stickman fiction. Black and blue are the colors of the Se Qui Vi Act of 1666 trusts, which mean that you actually were born, and the weight that you were born at is how much gold you got for your mission here on assignment. And the bigger you were, the more gold you were due, except you didn't know that. So you let the responsible parents that were actually not, because they were in their dysfunctional side, and salt and sugar look the same. So we have to understand how to discern the truth and understand that just because we were told it does not mean it is true. For all you need is the first 7 years of a man's life in order to determine who he becomes, who he is. We get to decide whether we will be very beautiful, which is the translation for Trey Bell, or whether we will choose to not be you in the beauty of what you could be. If only you would see the power that you have to stand in the I am that I am presence above, the God above, that was a picture designed for you to come here with, remembering you are never alone, ever, except for when you doubt. Doubt, fear, are the direct competition and enemies to love and faith and joy and hope and inner peace, because that is what we have a chance to now breed together as we unite, as peaceful inner warriors united. I invite you to come to the summit today at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time for the Mystic Music Summit, where artists are coming together to gather for recoding. We have one of our contributing experts, Rimini, who is going to be guiding us through a recoding process to help us get over ourselves so that we can be in the moment. For what I came to realize yesterday is that Jesus was able to ascend when he did because he finally forgave and cut the ties that bound him to not now moments where he had given himself before, and then restored into himself, calling those fragments back, because no longer did he give his power to moments he was not able to change, and therefore able to then be fully in the present moment of now, which is always here, like a multidimensional layer cake that is all happening right now, even though it is a different perspective depending on which level of the high rise of emotional awareness we are choosing to look at life through. Or is it going to be the obelisk of perspective as I am now playing with the idea of, because once you have a theory, you can then play with other theories and concepts. And what I tried to do right before I got sectioned and locked away for 2.5 weeks. Hey, Papa. My main man. How's it going, Papa?
Okay. Okay.
Well, before I got locked away in the mental health system, where I learned that it is not helpful, that in fact it is the holding tank for the ones that wake up to the sick system, that see drugs as a way to block the things that are coming up to be acknowledged. For if we are in the not now moment and we don't know how to deal with our emotions because we have not learned which theory works best, we then try to suppress, depress, compress, repress all of what shows up, which is energy in motion, trying to move. These are books that I have started writing in throughout the time that I have been working on the book about the transformation of self-image from the hero's perspective, except from an empowered perspective instead of the heroic one. Because the hero needs there to be a damsel in distress in order to save her, him, whoever it is from the evil one that we put at the top to look up at and fear. Icicles. Did you know that when we freeze something, water, we then unfreeze it, and when it freezes, it will freeze in that same pattern. And a snowflake is an original, just like your fingerprint. Hey, Papa.
What?
Any words for the people?
Huh?
Any words for the people? You're going to be on YouTube. What do you have to say?
How are you doing?
Words of wisdom.
What?
Give him a word of wisdom for the day.
You can't spit very far wearing a mask.
Yes, absolutely. And 4 months ago, it was proven that masks don't work, except to show that you are willing to comply with the mainstream narrative and supplicate yourself to rules that are not laws. Well, who said that, Laura? And I said, who are you listening to? Who are you giving your power to? Because every time you do, you give your power away. And who do you have to blame but yourself? Except for victims will always choose someone else until we take it back. And what I was going to say before Papa came in the way, which was a great thing because I love that man. What I was going to say is the day that I called myself into the police to say the system is corrupt and I don't know who to call, but I feel like I can help fix this. And what we really need to do is take all of the best traditions and combine them. Take the best stories out of all of them and then refine them down to the virtues. And when we can do that, then we can actually understand it's all got a common foundation when we actually get back to what we're here to do, and that is to unite, regardless of the plight that we are told we are in, and that we give our power to if we choose to believe and agree with that, or if we choose to say no. I choose to dream a new dream together with you. I say let's come together and play a different game. The matrix is real, it's true. I say to you that we must come together and unite in the name of what is right. And we know it is not what is happening. We know that the ones making decisions have sold themselves and us out in the process of getting paid money that can be taken away. And then we say the fines that everyone is getting are unjust, and yet we pay them because we don't want to have to pay the consequences of speaking up and being willing to say I will not go down with the ship without trying to take our captors on. Because if we don't do it while we are still united, then we'll just have to understand. There will be the ones that try to capture our attention with their BS, the belief systems that make us think we're safely separate. Well, did you know the distancing is very strategic too, aligned to a satanic agenda? There are many of those too for you to look into if you want to understand what's playing out now. Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, Rockefeller Report 2010. All of that is when they told us what they wanted to do with us. And that is when we realized that the love pen is in the left hand, and then the right hand, the blue one, the corporate one that would take over us and indoctrinate us in a nation of doctors that say what is correct, and they tell us what we can do. And if you have a doctor like I do who will not give you a no because they are opted into the system, fully invested in the story that we're being told, even though it doesn't make sense at all. And then when we actually look at it, then we start asking questions like, what's in the injections that they're putting into us? Well, did you know that there is said to be an 8th chromosome targeting? What's the 8th chromosome? Well, I've heard that it's empathy, and so if you think that you take things personally, maybe you are one too, an empath. What do you say? Ooh, it's time to know who you are and to choose to change the hands. You can always write all that you've done in the past, and the violet flame is how we do. That's so I say to you, please take a flower and start writing with love. It's time for us to know that we have so much more to see if we will come together and understand. Others may not understand us, but that is not because we're wrong, it's just because we haven't brought our vision into reality, so they cannot believe what is inside our minds, because how could they if we have not expressed the seed as a flower? Come out today at 3:30 Eastern Time if you like to sing and to learn about what's going on and to actually observe what is available to you. If only you will do the research that I have dedicated my life to and now share with you. So come along for the journey and know the left hand is wrong action. And in the moment we realize we've turned left, then we can take an off-ramp. And breath is the language of the soul, so you can please use it. And then know that when you do, you start adding to the flower the bouquet that says, no way will we go down quietly. We will instead use all of the resources that we have got. Did you know your team is actually your time, energy, effort, attention, and money? Well, that's the gift that I give you today before the Mystic Music Summit at 3:30. I best get this posted so you have time to invite all of your friends. Because if we all get together, you can be part of Rimini's recoding process. Hopefully her internet actually works. Because what we must understand is the opposition will often introduce spiritual warfare tactics that involve interruption. So now we will call for the tube of light around. Reminisce internet today. It will be protected. We call on the forces of good to keep her safe, so her transmission can go through to all of who need to know what she can do, because that's where her energy, effort, attention, money, time has went to. Her team has went to learning how to gift you with what we will do in a very short time. So once again I'll say goodbye and have a great day. I hope that you'll accept and then pass them on and understand we live in the ripple effect of time. It's all happening now, so just understand how your emotions are the elevator and the floors. Our feelings are how we interpretate the emotion that's energy in motion. So come out today at 3:30. Today, Laura J. Namaste, namago.